Have you ever felt so angry that you just couldn't control yourself when someone said or did something that deeply hurt you? Are there days when even a passing glance or a careless comment feels like the whole world is turning its back on you? In today's fast-paced, high-pressure world, it's incredibly easy to get swept up in a whirlwind of negative emotions, from minor irritations to full-blown anger. But is there a way to remain calm, unshaken, and not allow anyone to disturb your inner peace? Can we truly live a life of stillness, untouched by the emotional influence of others? The answer lies in Stoicism, an ancient yet remarkably powerful school of philosophy. Great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca lived through harsh, turbulent times, yet they managed to maintain remarkable inner peace thanks to the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Today, we'll uncover 7 practical, time-tested methods that not only help you manage your emotions but allow you to take full control of your mind and spirit. What I'm about to share with you isn't dry theory. These are profound lessons from Stoicism, distilled into clear, actionable practices you can apply right now in your daily life. So, stay focused and don't miss a single part, because even applying just one of these methods could create an immediate, noticeable shift in your life. Let's begin with the first principle: embrace willingness. One of the core foundations of Stoicism that leads to lasting inner peace is the wholehearted acceptance of everything life places in your path. Now, this doesn't mean you have to enjoy or agree with every situation. Instead, it means learning to face each circumstance willingly, without resistance. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love those with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This kind of acceptance is the key to breaking free from the endless cycle of anger, frustration, and disappointment. Picture this: you're washing the dishes. If you approach the task reluctantly, every single plate feels like an internal struggle. But if you choose to do it willingly, with a grateful heart, the burden quietly dissolves. Epictetus also reminds us in Discourses, "Do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will go well." This is the spirit of willingness, not resisting the flow of life, but moving in harmony with it. You can apply this mindset even in frustrating, unpleasant moments. Take being stuck in traffic. For example, if you spend the entire time cursing the delay, your frustration only intensifies. But if you see it as an opportunity to listen to your favorite podcast, reflect on your day, or practice mindfulness, the tension quietly melts away. Another important aspect of willingness is how we define our purpose in life. Instead of chasing trivial, short-lived goals, why not aim for a deeper, broader vision? Ask yourself, what kind of life do I truly want to create? Unlike personal ambitions that often lead to temporary achievements, like earning more money or acquiring material things, a life vision encompasses your entire journey. And when you live guided by that vision, every action, big or small, becomes voluntary and meaningful. Consider this: when you're forced to meet a stressful work deadline, it feels heavy and tedious. But when you volunteer to help a friend or support a meaningful cause, even difficult, unrewarding tasks feel fulfilling. The difference lies in your attitude. Voluntary actions give you a sense of control, while forced obligations turn your life into a burden. Apply this perspective to your daily interactions. When someone says something rude or offensive, you have two choices: let their words dictate your emotions and respond in anger, or view it as a valuable chance to practice willingness. You can calmly remind yourself, this person is acting according to their nature. I choose not to let it disturb mine. Accepting life as it unfolds doesn't mean giving up on personal growth or improving your circumstances. It means recognizing that some things are beyond your control. And releasing the pressure to control the uncontrollable frees you to focus on what you can change. For example, if you receive criticism at work, instead of stewing in anger, see it as a chance to learn and sharpen your skills. And this is only the first method. There's so much more wisdom ahead. Let's smoothly transition to page 2, where we'll uncover the second Stoic principle to help you preserve your calm in any situation. We just talked about the first Stoic principle: embrace willingness, the art of accepting everything that happens to us with grace and inner strength. Now, let's move on to another equally important principle for protecting your peace of mind in a chaotic world. Number 2. Stop judging others. Let me ask you something. Why is it so easy for us to get angry or irritated with people? Could it be because we're constantly judging them? Think about it. How many times in a normal day do you catch yourself thinking, "This person is so annoying," or "That one is completely unreliable"? These silent judgments don't just harm others, more importantly, they weigh down our own hearts and minds. In Stoic philosophy, letting go of judgment is one of the most powerful ways to free ourselves from emotions like anger and frustration. Human beings naturally see the world through their own lens. And when someone acts in a way that clashes with our expectations, our first instinct is to slap a label on them. For example, if someone's driving too slowly in front of you, your immediate thought might be, "This driver is an idiot." But have you ever considered that they might be a new driver? Or carefully transporting their children in the car? It's not external events that shape our emotions. It's how we interpret them. Judging others is like tying a heavy stone around your own neck. It burdens your mind unnecessarily. And that weight only grows heavier when you carry those judgments day after day. Imagine you have a colleague who's often late to work. If you keep thinking they're lazy or irresponsible, your irritation will pile up. But if you pause for a moment and consider that maybe they're caring for a sick family member or dealing with personal struggles, your perspective softens. This doesn't mean you condone bad behavior. It means you stop letting other people's actions control your emotional state. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." There's no need to get worked up or disturb your inner peace over things beyond your control. No one is entirely good or bad. People are a collection of actions shaped by their experiences and circumstances. And think about it, you yourself have had moments where you didn't act your best. Maybe you were tired, stressed, or just having a bad day. Others are no different. Picture yourself at a restaurant where a server accidentally spills water on your table. Your gut reaction might be irritation. How careless. But if you take a moment to think, maybe they're having a rough day too. Instantly, your frustration softens. Letting go of judgment doesn't only lighten your mood, it nurtures empathy. And most importantly, it frees you from carrying emotional baggage that weighs you down. Of course, letting go of judgment doesn't mean turning a blind eye to wrongdoings. You can still discern right from wrong, but without allowing those situations to poison your peace of mind. As Marcus Aurelius also said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." The most powerful response isn't anger, it's to hold your head high and stay composed. So how do we practice this? The first step is awareness. Every time you catch yourself judging someone, ask, "Is this thought necessary? Does it serve me in any way?" Then, try to shift your perspective. Put yourself in their shoes. What might they be going through that you can't see? And finally, remember this, everyone is different. Those differences are what make life interesting. Someone being unlike you doesn't mean they're wrong. And it's rarely worth sacrificing your peace for a passing annoyance. Next time someone rubs you the wrong way, Pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, is this feeling really worth holding on to? You'll find that by viewing situations through the lens of empathy and understanding, you'll not only treat others better, but you'll be far kinder to yourself. And ultimately, ask yourself this: do you want to cling to anger? Or would you rather live a life of peace and freedom? The choice is always yours. And this leads us perfectly to the next principle. Number 3, let go of control. When you stop judging others, you uncover a deeper truth. Much of our anger and frustration comes from expecting people to act according to our desires. But life rarely works that way. In the next section, we'll explore how true peace comes not from controlling everything, but from releasing the need to. Let's dive in. In the previous section, we explored how letting go of judgment can help us maintain inner peace amidst the chaos of life. Now, as you gradually stop fixating on others' behavior, a deeper truth begins to reveal itself. Much of our frustration, anger, and disappointment actually stems from our constant desire to control everything, and as you know, that's impossible. Number 3, let go of control. You always have the power to choose how you respond to what life throws at you. Picture yourself driving through rush hour traffic. The roads are packed, car horns blaring from every direction, and you're moments away from being late. Anger bubbles up as you mutter to yourself, "Why does everyone drive like this? Why can't the traffic ever be better?" But here's the reality: you can't control how others drive. And you can't magically clear the road. The only thing within your power is your attitude and your reaction. You can choose to stay upset, or you can take a deep breath, accept what's beyond your control, and let it go. It may sound simple, but this mindset shift can transform your entire life. Think about a mother who constantly worries about her child's grades. No matter how much she stresses, she can't take the exams for her child or force him to succeed. Or an employee frustrated by a boss's unreasonable decisions. No amount of anger will ever control someone else's thoughts or actions. Negative emotions often arise when we place high expectations on things beyond our reach. And when reality fails to meet those expectations, disappointment naturally follows. I once knew a young, passionate entrepreneur who spent years building a tech company with dreams of transforming his industry. But when his product finally launched, market feedback was underwhelming. Frustrated, he blamed the customers for not recognizing its value, even suspecting sabotage by competitors. These emotions trapped him in a cycle of bitterness and helplessness. During a conversation, I suggested he stop fixating on things he couldn't control and instead focus on what he could improve. This simple shift opened a new perspective. He stopped blaming others, refined his product, adjusted his strategy, and embraced the patience that true success demands. The result? Not only did he free himself from unnecessary stress, but he eventually achieved far greater success than he had initially hoped for. Stoicism teaches us a simple yet powerful practice during stressful situations. Ask yourself 3 questions. Is this within my control? Am I wasting energy on something unchangeable? Is my reaction helping, or making things worse? These questions act like keys, unlocking the mental prison of negativity. Letting go of control doesn't mean surrendering or being passive. It means focusing your energy on what you can genuinely influence: your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Imagine rowing a boat down a river. You can't stop the current, but you can steer your boat to navigate its flow. A practical exercise in Stoicism is premeditatio malorum, imagining what might go wrong before your day even begins. Picture your plans being cancelled, a colleague making a mistake, or bad weather ruining your schedule. When you prepare for life's surprises in advance, they'll feel much easier to handle when they actually happen. Ultimately, letting go isn't a sign of weakness, it's an act of strength and freedom. When you stop clinging to what's out of reach, you'll experience an incredible sense of peace. Start small. Don't waste your energy trying to change other people's opinions. Dwell on the past, or chase after the uncontrollable. Life flows like a river, and when you learn to move with its current, you'll finally discover the calm you've been searching for. And to truly stay centered amidst life's unpredictability, there's one more essential lesson we need to learn: embracing the imperfections of this world. Let's uncover that together in number 4, Embrace Imperfection. Coming up next. In the last section, we explored how trying to control everything around us only leads to frustration. And that real peace comes when we focus on what's within our control, our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Building on that wisdom, the next essential lesson is about accepting the world's natural imperfections. Number 4. Embrace imperfection. The philosopher Epictetus wisely reminded us, it is not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about them. In other words, anger and frustration don't truly come from what others do, but from how we choose to interpret those actions. The world, with all its chaos and flaws, doesn't need to change for your peace of mind. What truly needs to shift is the way you perceive and respond to it. Let's bring this idea to life with a relatable example. Imagine you've spent days preparing for an important presentation. You double-checked every detail, rehearsed your delivery, and ensured everything was perfect. But at the last minute, a colleague, responsible for handling the supporting materials, makes careless mistakes or leaves out key information, seemingly ruining your effort. Naturally, frustration surges. You might catch yourself thinking, why were they so careless when I worked so hard? But if you pause and view the situation through a Stoic lens, you'll realize their mistake lies beyond your control. Getting angry won't fix the issue. In fact, it only makes the situation heavier on your mind. The more constructive question to ask yourself is, what can I do now to salvage this moment? By embracing imperfection and staying calm, you're far more likely to think clearly and find an effective solution. This is the heart of Stoicism, focusing only on what you can control. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. Starting your day with the realistic expectation that imperfection is inevitable prepares your mind to face challenges with resilience and grace. It's not about pessimism, but about being grounded in reality. In daily life, embracing imperfection transforms how you react to countless little moments. When someone breaks a promise, instead of letting anger fester, remind yourself, they're human too, and perhaps carrying unseen burdens. When you feel misunderstood, rather than jumping to conclusions, stay calm and seek clarity. Maybe they didn't intend to upset you, perhaps they simply failed to grasp your perspective. And when you encounter rudeness or criticism, pause and ask yourself, does this genuinely harm me? Or is it my interpretation making me feel hurt? More often than not, it's our own judgment adding weight to the moment. Now, embracing imperfection doesn't mean giving up on bettering yourself or improving the world around you. On the contrary, it liberates you. When you stop demanding that others always act as you wish, you free yourself from a great deal of disappointment. This freedom allows you to redirect your focus onto what genuinely matters. Take relationships as an example. We often expect our partner or loved ones to understand us perfectly, to intuitively know our moods and needs. But the truth is, even those closest to you can't read your mind. Rather than blaming them, ask yourself, can I communicate my feelings and needs more clearly? This small shift not only reduces dissatisfaction but also strengthens empathy, making relationships healthier and more harmonious. When you sincerely accept that flaws are part of life, you start finding a quiet joy even in life's rough edges. That careless coworker, that impatient stranger, or that thoughtless friend, they all become opportunities for you to practice patience and compassion. And when those frustrating moments arise, ask yourself, haven't I too made mistakes? If I long for forgiveness from others, shouldn't I be willing to offer it as well? This mindset reminds us that everyone, including you and me, is doing the best they can under their unique circumstances. As the Stoic Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." The courage to face life's imperfections isn't just a sign of kindness, it's a powerful gateway to inner freedom. Life doesn't have to be flawless for you to be happy. The moment you stop expecting perfection from others and the world, you'll release yourself from the heavy burden of anger and disappointment. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And when you let this wisdom guide your outlook, you'll find peace in places you never expected, even in the midst of life's inevitable messiness. Now that we've learned how to embrace the imperfections of the world, it's time to turn inward. In the next part, we'll explore a deeper challenge, taking responsibility for our own feelings, regardless of the circumstances around us. Because while we can't always change the world, we can always choose how we carry ourselves through it. In the last section, we talked about embracing life's imperfections, understanding that while we can't control how others act, we can always choose how we respond. Now, let's take that idea one step further and explore how to reclaim control over our emotions when life tests our patience. Number 5. Take responsibility for your feelings. Life constantly throws little irritations our way. Imagine standing in a long, crowded supermarket queue on a weekend afternoon. You've been waiting patiently, and suddenly, someone cuts in front of you without so much as a glance or an apology. Instinctively, irritation rises in your chest. It's natural to feel disrespected. In that moment, you have two choices. You can let that small act of rudeness hijack your mood for the rest of the day. Or you can pause, take a breath, and ask yourself a powerful question: is this person's behavior truly worth sacrificing my peace? Yes, they may have been rude. Yes, their actions were inconsiderate, but your emotions belong to you. Why should you allow someone else's thoughtlessness to dictate how you feel inside? The beauty is, when you choose calmness over anger, a remarkable thing happens: the irritation fades. The person might remain oblivious to their impolite act, but their behavior no longer has the power to disturb you, unless you give it permission. The line might be a few minutes longer, but your inner calm stays intact. That small, seemingly trivial incident becomes just another passing moment in your day, rather than the spark for a cascade of negativity. In everyday life, we often hand over control of our emotions to others without even realizing it. When someone insults, ignores, or unfairly criticizes us, our instinctive reaction is to feel hurt, defensive, or angry. But why? Why let someone else's careless words or thoughtless actions dictate our inner state? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. It's a profound truth. While we can't always control what others do, we can always choose how we react to them. Think back to a moment when you were unfairly criticized at work. Maybe called out for something that wasn't entirely your fault. The initial wave of anger and frustration probably felt inevitable. But what if, in that moment, you reminded yourself that your worth isn't measured by someone else's opinion? By choosing to reframe your perspective, you could free yourself from the grip of those negative emotions. So, how do we build this emotional resilience? One practical technique is to practice the power of pause. When faced with an upsetting situation, give yourself a moment to reflect before reacting. Ask yourself, am I overreacting? Is this really worth disturbing my peace? That brief pause creates valuable space between the trigger and your response, offering you the chance to choose calm over chaos. Another highly effective method is keeping a daily journal of your emotions, a practice deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Each evening, take a few quiet minutes to reflect. What upset me today? How did I react? Could I have handled it differently? Over time, this simple habit helps you recognize emotional patterns and trains your mind to respond more thoughtfully in the future. Ultimately, taking responsibility for your emotions is the key to living a more peaceful, centered life. No one can truly make you angry, upset, or offended unless you allow it. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." His words remind us of an empowering truth: our emotions belong to us, not to those around us. Protect your peace, guard it like a precious treasure, and you'll find that most of life's little disturbances can no longer shake your spirit. Do you resonate with this idea? If so, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below, share a story, or even offer a different perspective. Sometimes the most meaningful conversations start with simple reflections like these. And now, let's build on this wisdom. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into a powerful practice that helps strengthen this control over your emotions, the art of non-reaction. Because while life's unexpected moments will always arrive uninvited, how you respond, or choose not to respond, can make all the difference. Previously, we explored the importance of taking responsibility for your emotions, learning not to hand over control of your inner peace to others. Now, let's build on that wisdom with a powerful practice that helps you maintain calm even in the most provoking moments: the art of non-reaction. Number 6. Practice non-reaction. When someone insults or provokes you, the instinctive urge is to respond instantly. Words may form in your mind before you've even processed the situation. But here's the truth: those first reactions are rarely your wisest. Instead, pause, take a deep breath, give yourself a moment to reflect. For example, if a colleague sends a harsh or critical email that stings, resist the temptation to fire back immediately. Delay your response by an hour, or even better, wait until the next day. That time allows emotions to settle, giving space for clarity and thoughtful action rather than impulsive reaction. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful and dignified response you can offer. Choosing not to retaliate doesn't mean you're weak. In fact, it's a display of great inner strength. It shows that you refuse to let others dictate your emotional state. There's an old saying, if a donkey kicks you and you kick back, you're both donkeys. This simple yet sharp parable reminds us that when we answer negativity with negativity, we lower ourselves to the same level. Non-reaction is not about surrender, it's about rising above. Picture a heated argument where every word adds fuel to an already blazing fire. If one person suddenly chooses silence and stops engaging, the flames inevitably die down. The one who holds their calm, who refrains from adding more heat, emerges not just unburnt, but victorious, having preserved their peace of mind and emotional control. Take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you lost your temper over something trivial? Was that burst of anger truly worth sacrificing your calm, your focus, your joy? And if you could go back to that moment, knowing what you do now, how might you have handled it differently? These simple, Honest questions hold the key to introspection and daily self-growth. Marcus Aurelius once wisely wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Recognizing that you hold the power over your reactions is liberating. It allows you to move through life's inevitable disruptions with grace, patience, and resilience. It's important to understand that practicing non-reaction doesn't mean becoming indifferent or passively accepting everything that happens around you. Rather, it means developing discernment, the wisdom to decide what truly deserves your energy and attention. By choosing when to engage and when to remain still, you protect not just your peace but the precious space within your soul. Remind yourself daily, you can't control others' actions, but you can always control your response. Calmness, silence, and an unshaken heart are your most effective weapons in this noisy, unpredictable world. That is the heart of Stoicism. And now, with this steady foundation of emotional mastery, let's take another beautiful step forward. In the next lesson, we'll uncover how embracing selflessness and practicing forgiveness can lead to unexpected joy, and how letting go of resentment creates room for love, empathy, and a life of deeper meaning. In our last lesson, we explored the power of non-reaction, the wisdom of choosing silence and composure over retaliation when faced with negativity. Now, let's continue this journey inward, by uncovering another timeless key to inner peace: forgiveness. Number 7. Find joy in selflessness. Life is filled with small disagreements and misunderstandings that, if left unchecked, can easily snowball into major arguments. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves irritated by a relative who never seems to have a kind word? No matter how hard we try, their constant criticism can cut deep. But here's a truth worth remembering: most of the time, those harsh words have little to do with you, and everything to do with their own insecurities, frustrations, or silent struggles. When you truly grasp this, anger begins to lose its grip on you. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're excusing bad behavior, nor does it mean you have to tolerate being mistreated. It simply means refusing to let someone else's actions control your emotions. Often, anger takes root in our unmet expectations. We expect others to behave the way we believe is right or fair. But life, in all its beautiful chaos, rarely aligns with those expectations. Everyone carries unseen burdens, silent battles you know nothing about. And when you realize this, those rigid expectations soften, and with them, the anger starts to dissolve. The beautiful thing about forgiveness is that it not only helps you release anger, but also unlocks a quiet, genuine joy. Think back to a time when you helped someone without wanting anything in return. Remember how that made you feel? Chances are, it left you with a sense of peace, warmth, and quiet contentment that no material possession could match. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Forgiveness, then, is more than just a moral gesture. It's a declaration of personal freedom, a choice to reclaim control over your inner world. Modern research affirms this ancient wisdom. Studies consistently show that people who regularly practice kindness, forgiveness, and selfless acts tend to experience greater happiness and a deeper sense of well-being. Stoicism, with its centuries-old teachings, understood this profound truth long before psychology gave it a name. Forgiveness is not simply a virtue to admire from a distance, it's a practical, powerful tool for living a fuller, more meaningful life. Next time someone tests your patience, pause and ask yourself, what might they be going through that I don't see? Or, can I view this situation from their perspective? Making a habit of asking these questions will gradually dissolve discomfort and replace it with understanding. And when was the last time you did something kind for someone without expecting anything in return? How did that moment linger in your heart? Reflecting on these small, seemingly ordinary acts can gently guide you toward making forgiveness a part of your daily life. Remember, forgiveness doesn't have to be grand or complicated. Sometimes, it's as simple as choosing patience when someone is careless. It's about recognizing what you can't control, other people's actions, and focusing instead on what you can, your own growth, your own peace. And when you show kindness, do so gratefully, recognizing that in those moments, you are also offering yourself freedom from resentment. The Roman philosopher Seneca beautifully said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Every day, life presents you with countless chances to be compassionate, to forgive, and to choose peace over conflict. And when you embrace forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself, you begin to build a calmer, richer, more meaningful world both within and around you. We've now journeyed through 7 timeless practices for cultivating inner peace and freeing ourselves from the weight of anger and frustration. These aren't abstract ideas for philosophers alone, they are practical, everyday tools for anyone seeking true freedom of the mind and spirit. By embracing acceptance, letting go of harsh judgments, surrendering the need to control the uncontrollable, taking responsibility for your emotions, practicing non-reaction, and finding joy in forgiveness and kindness, you move closer to genuine self-mastery. And along the way, you'll discover that the simple, beautiful act of compassion is one of life's greatest rewards. If you've found value in this video and haven't already, take a moment to like it. It really helps us spread these positive messages. Share this video with a friend or family member. Sometimes a simple reminder is enough to brighten someone's entire day. And be sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next uplifting message we'll be sharing. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.